Yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine.
And I am still James.
Uh, yes. I tried to switch over to so you can see them, but I didn't get there quick enough. But anyway, we about to do a little podcast on some good entertainment. But but yeah, we're gonna talk about Castlevania. We're gonna do a Castlevania review, and we're gonna review a couple of trailers. Man, the Black Widow dropped that final trailer before the movie come out, and also they got a new Mortal Kombat trailer, animated. They got a new live action one they're working on, but this animated one they are working on. So we're gonna talk about that trailer and maybe a couple other little small things. But before we do that, we got intro. All right. Excuse me. All right, so we back. We are talking about Castlevania, the animated series that's on Netflix. This is season 3 of Castlevania. Did you like those first 2 seasons?
I mean, they were a little short, but I definitely enjoyed them. Getting that, they definitely captured that sort of horror, that action horror feel to them. So
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed the first season, but like you said, they were short. I was under the impression that this was originally a movie. Like that first one felt like it was a movie, like a short hour and a half movie, and they were like,
right,
you know what, let's break it up into a series because it just felt like, one kind of like one short goal that they did, and they completed or whatever. No, well, they didn't complete their goal. They kind of like set up the team
yeah,
and set up a goal. It was a good setup though,
yeah,
for as
yeah.
all the characters. But this this series actually is taking place in I don't know what time period. It's like medieval times or something. But it might be a little later than that. But it's not Simon Belmont, the one I'm used to. This is Trevor Belmont. So
Right,
from what I was told, this is actually Castlevania III, the curse, Dracula's curse or something. Like it's more based off that whole game. I don't know if you was into the Castlevania series. It's a little old, for you. I remember it, but I was kind of too young to know what the hell I was, doing other than just
right.
playing. I played the game, but I didn't follow the story. I just knew, hey, I just got to beat these monsters or whatnot.
Yeah, that was actually before I started following the story on video games. So it's like all I knew was like, look, I got my whip. I'm gonna go kill some monsters. Let's go.
Right? It's the whip. Um, it's the whole. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to do something. But anyway, it was the whole thing where you got Simon Belmont, you got the whip. I mean, that's how all those Nintendo games was. You got like 2 moves, and you just gotta like, you know, learn how to navigate through the game with just those 2 moves, which can be challenging in itself. Just by how simple the games was, made it more challenging because you're
Yeah.
like, how the hell I'm supposed to beat all these damn things coming at me with all I can do is go up, down, left, or right.
Well, that is one of the things that's really changed in video games. It's like back in the day, your timing, your attention to movement of enemies on the screen had to be on point at all times, or you wouldn't last 5 seconds. So it's like video games are in a weird way less like they're a lot more immersive now, but they were a lot less forgiving back then.
Agreed, but from somebody who used to who comes from excuse me, come from a retro gaming I guess family. I know how it was. So this series starring Trevor Belmont. He's a vampire hunter, and then it's got all these other characters that came out. We did a review on that first season. We didn't do one on the second season, but so he got like a traveling monk magician with him they call speakers. That's Cypher, and also Alucard, Dracula's son.
Yeah.
You kind of smiled when I said here.
It's just his storyline this season was
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I'm just gonna give people a little kind of a back story on where they at.
Right.
So first 2 seasons, we're gonna spoil the first 2 seasons a little bit. First season, they all met each other and they all had a goal. Stop Dracula. Now, Dracula's goal was to destroy mankind. Why? Well, I mean, originally he had a human wife, and she got him to not kill or whatever, and then they killed her. So he was like, forget people, kill them all. Yeah. So he was just want to destroy the whole human race for revenge for killing his wife. So that's like basically what set off season 2. And then you introduce these new characters, Hector and what's the other guy name? Isaac. Hector and Isaac, which they was Dracula's right hand mans. They basically was aiding him in his war against humanity. And so we had to we had the team together. Trevor, Sypha, and Alucard had to stop Dracula from taking over the world. So this is where season 3 started. They beat him. Dracula died, and now they all kind of went their separate ways. So this is where season 3 pick up, and it start kind of light. I'm kind of wondering, I'm kind of wondering, where's everybody? What's their goal now? They already completed their main goal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this season is less on action and more on character. Would you say?
This season is definitely they have a couple of big action set pieces, but for the most part they're just going into the character dynamics and the character exploration on this season.
Right, which is real interesting because I found myself not being bored, even though it wasn't that much action, because the story started to get a little deeper and deeper, and then you see the aftermath of season 2. Everybody is in a certain place. All your main characters survived except for Dracula, and everybody's kind of in a different place. So everybody's separated now. So Trevor and Sypha is together, and did they hook up in season 2? I think I missed that. I knew they was eventually gonna hook up, but now they a couple.
I can't remember if they actually did in season 2 or not. Now that you mention it.
Well, anyway, they out of nowhere together. I ain't gonna say out of nowhere. I'm sorry, I might have missed that in season 2. They are together, so they basically like a couple that fight monsters.
Right.
And so we got Trevor and Sypha in one place. They kind of just traveling fighting monsters, and then you got Isaac, who was saved by Dracula at the last minute because he was. He's a loyal servant to Dracula. He was actually down with killing all humanity. Right. It's like, dude, you're a human, right?
I'm gonna tell you what. Every time Isaac's on screen, in the back of my head, I hear Bender from Futurama. Hey there, baby. Want to destroy all humans? Just because, knowing that that's his only motivation is no, that's what I do. I want to destroy all humans.
Yeah,
he even gets called out on it.
Right, well, he's one of them self-loathing, humans ain't shit anyway. You're human. Yeah, I deserve to die too. Okay. So anyway, we got Hector. Hector betrayed Dracula because he was like, I ain't down for that. He's like, right. We cool, but we ain't that cool. So I mean, I have to side with Hector on that. Because, I'm loyal to a fault. Hey, we cool, but we ain't that cool, bro. I'm not going to die.
Even when they finally get to the point, showing you that Hector and Isaac had different paths, ideas on things back in season 2, Hector was like, no, you right. Humans ain't shit, but, I'm okay, right?
So, okay, so they're on different places. Now that's what I forget. What's the name of that female vampire? Was this
Carmilla?
Okay, so Carmilla was basically she was working with Dracula, but I think she was always planning on betraying him.
Yeah.
So once all the stuff happened, all the shit hit the fan, Dracula died. Carmella's like, all right, well, I'm going back home, and then she take Hector with him, but it kind of tripped me out where she kind of treated him like dirt the whole time.
Yeah.
And I kind of we gonna get into that, but they kind of explain why. Well, to me, I kind of felt I had a explanation in my head why she did that, but we'll get to that. So that's Hector, Camilla, and then Camilla got a whole little group of female vampires. Now, what you think about them? It's like they just like another power that was that controlled as part of Europe, I guess.
Yeah, so like they had their
they got
territory.
a name for them?
I don't know if they had a collective name for their group. The country was Styria. And but like I guess they were Carmilla's court basically.
Right,
so.
right. They in which they which they wasn't in the other seasons, but you kind of like heard them reference, I believe. And then Carmilla like came from her hometown, was like, hey, I'm here to help. And when shit hit the fan, she's like, I'm going back home. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, what character am I forgetting? Wasn't it a major character?
One of the new characters.
Alucard.
Oh, right.
Alucard is Dracula's son. He wanted to kill his father because he thought killing people was wrong or whatever. Right. Alucard, let's talk about him because it seemed like you was kind of. So it's over. Dracula dead. Alucard just like by himself. He's a weird guy to me because he's like he's lonely and stir crazy and all that. And it's only been like a month, and I was like, I mean, you know, you don't want to be alone for too long, but I'll be cool. Like it's only been a month. You know, you cool. You know, but he's like actually going crazy. It's like he's very sensitive guy.
Yeah,
and kind of feminine too. The way they write him, very feminine. And I noticed some stuff about him. I was like, are we? What are we doing here? What territory are we getting into here with him? You know what I'm saying?
You know, they really decided they was going to do some things with Alucard in this series, and they just went very much into it.
Well, what I was hearing that they got a lot of fan fiction and art on Alucard, and that's kind of like what they do, make him kind of like a transsexual almost, something like that.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. This is the internet we're talking about, but
right. Well, okay, so he's a man, but he's real feminine looking, where sometimes you kind of wonder, like, wait a minute, is he? No, that's a man. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, that's all your major players. And what's going on right now, Isaac is actually trying to return. Actually, is he just looking for?
I think he's trying to
Hector.
He's definitely looking for Hector.
Well, because he got betrayed because he was going to go through with Dracula's plan, and Hector was like, "Nah, I ain't about that." And so that's kind of like what all fell apart. And now Hector is trying to find. I'm sorry, Isaac is trying to find Hector, and I guess maybe he's not sure, but maybe he might want to continue Dracula's plan.
I'm fairly certain he does, and since he blames Hector for ruining Dracula's plan, I think that's his first step is getting revenge on Hector. However he plans on doing that. If it's just the simplest, which is kill him or make something out of him, but also I think like it helps that going after Hector means going after Carmilla, who he also probably wants some revenge on.
Right. So he's on his way to where Hector's at, which is where Carmilla is at, so it all works out for him.
Right.
And we got a couple new players, though. We got Saint Germain, I think his name.
Yeah.
He's kind of like now that's one thing they introduced, kind of like a little alchemy in here where they didn't do before, which is interesting. They didn't get deep into it, but they got, basically this is kind of like in the times where if you said anything besides Christianity, you was deemed a witch, or they was gonna try to kill you or whatever. So he was kind of like a magician that seek knowledge and he was traveling because he didn't want to get caught up or whatever. So he got a
Because
little
like
backstory.
like he actually outright states that he's immortal at one point in the show,
Uh-huh.
and I think in the original games he was a time traveler.
Maybe. See, I'm not even familiar how the game plot used to go. Like I said, I used to
Yeah,
just jump around and hit bats with the whip and stuff, and try to
yeah.
beat the board.
Like it's been a long time since I've even like really done a dive into like the story of the original Castlevania games.
Right.
So
I just knew that, you get to the last board and you fight Dracula, and that's Castlevania. So,
right.
but with all these new characters, you got to have a baddie. You know what I'm saying? So, I think if we talk about the villain, that'd be kind of like a spoiler. It's hard talking about this without spoiling it, but let's say it's an unseen villain, I guess you could say.
Well,
Or
because I think this is one of those situations where as far as an antagonist, like this is more of this is a bit of a caper, like Sypha and Trevor get to this town and they get the idea that something's going down. They get drawn into some stuff.
yeah,
And so they had to figure out what's going terribly, terribly wrong in this town.
um, I agree. So yeah, it starts when they get to a town and something's going on there, and that's their side, and then we got Isaac and Hector got a whole nother side because they not in the same place. So they kind of got two stories going on. Well, they got more than two, but they got their stories. I don't think their stories going to intersect.
I mean, they certainly ain't gonna intersect for a while.
Right. So they kind of setting up for seasons down the line for their stories to intersect. So we got one issue here with Trevor and Cypher where they got to deal with some evil stuff in this town, and then we got another story where Hector and Isaac is going to reunite, and also and that's going to be whatever's going on there. That's got to be resolved. Now, I think eventually Trevor and Cypher is going to end up joining that fight, but right now we got two separate fights, and they're going to keep it with this season. But let me ask you this. Now we talk a little bit about those characters. Now, Hector, like I was telling you before, they treated him like straight garbage when he got there. Threw him in a cell,
Yeah.
threw him bread with fucking maggots or something on her, molded bread.
Moldy bread filled with maggots.
So they treated him very poorly, which basically like a prisoner or whatever. And then her plan is, we need him to help us. Why would he do that? So of course they got this cute vampire to I'm a diplomat. I'm here to help you. And I did like this one line she did where he thought he could, he thought he could grab her and was like, all right, get me out of here. And she like, let me tell you something. I'm a diplomat. That means I'm nice. And then she kind of showed how strong she was. She's like, don't ever think I'm weak, though. So I did like
that was
that.
a nice lesson, man. She taught him a nice lesson.
Right. And so, but this is my thing. They kind of got this little thing where they falling for each other. Or, excuse me, Hector might be falling for her or whatever. And I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like, dude, she will kill you in 2 seconds. She don't care about you. And I'm thinking, like, is Hector really falling for this? Or is he kind of like, all right, I'm going to play her game until I get the upper hand? You know what I'm saying? How you feel about that?
I think for Hector, like it started off like he knew she was running game and he wanted to see where that was going.
Right.
And then he just he forgot he was supposed to be playing the game.
I just wonder, is he still, or is he really having feelings for her?
I think he was having feelings.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think for him, part of it is he has such a strong mistrust of humanity that his blind spot is monsters. Because he's so used to making monsters, and he's so sure that he can trust the monsters around him, especially since being,
if you forge them, they're gonna be loyal to you anyway. But
like being part of Dracula's court, he was so used to being safe from monsters. Even other vampires. So I think for him, it's just that's one of his blind spots.
See, and I understand it, and I can understand falling for a hot woman with charms and stuff. But it was, to me, it was so obvious that she was trying to seduce him just so she can use him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just see it's like, look, it's like stuff she was doing, like accidentally making her lips brush against his and shit. You know,
I think another part of it is on some level, especially if you look at the way he, kind of threw himself into service for Dracula. I think he wants to be of service to someone, and it wasn't going to be Carmilla, but like in Lenore, he saw someone. He's like, no, she's reasonable. She ain't gonna hurt me just to hurt me. It's like I think we can work together. Like I think that's where he was coming at it from.
I'm totally cool with that, because you got to bail your situation. I'd be like, look, you need a Forge Master. I need to live. That works out for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's just that, I'm looking at them do this whole song and dance where they, falling for each other, and I'm like, I don't buy it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't buy it. I don't buy that she gives a damn about you. These vampires, like he said, y'all play with y'all food. You know what I'm saying? We just food.
Yeah.
So that's my whole feelings on that whole situation. I don't buy it, and I feel like she's trying to play him. I mean, we'll see, but so then we got Alucard, got these two people he's training, where it seems like he's just lonely, and they suspect, like when they not around him, when they talking to each other, it seems like they own something else. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Do you sense that?
From the jump, I'm like, I don't trust these two.
I know. Not to mention, the male looks prettier than the female, and I'm looking like, she's like, oh yeah, this is my name is such and such. I'm like, oh, they got her looking pretty, and he's like, yeah, and I'm such and such. Like, this is my brother. I'm like, you sure? Y'all look just alike, except he got a couple of freckles or some shit. I'm like,
I think one of the things,
what are they doing with it?
One of the things this series inherited from the art design on the old Castlevania games.
Everybody look pretty.
Everybody look pretty. Everybody, like, the androgyny is like so up
right
there.
And that's the artwork. I feel him or whatever, but this character in particular looks very feminine. You know what I'm saying? Where I have to say he looked just like the girl, except he may be just a little bigger. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God. And they went somewhere with that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know exactly what they own. I don't know if something happened on that last episode. I already told you I didn't catch quite the end. Did they go somewhere with them?
Yep.
Okay, so I didn't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil it for nobody. But it's something with Alucard is training two people, and the way they was like, hey, can you train us? He like, yeah, sure. Somebody said Alucard is like the old person that's lonely, that you try to sell them something, and they's like, hey, won't you stay for some? Hey, I got some cookies. They try to get you to stay a little too long, and you
I don't get 2 minute visitors. Why don't you come on and sit down and spell? Yeah. That's Alucard to a T.
And you end up staying way longer than you want to. All right, we got to go. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me show you about this. Let me tell you about this other story I got. Like, I gotta go. But no, so yeah, they went somewhere with them, and they kind of showed that Alucard is maybe bisexual. Like, I don't know. I guess they they kind of went there with that, and that's all I'm gonna say with that.
Right.
But it's a good show. But these seasons are leading up to other stuff instead of just like kind of giving you a whole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's almost like an arc, but not. It's a lot more.
That's the one thing I will say that was really good about like season 2 was like it had a nice bit of closure at the end.
Right.
But like with this one, this season is definitely setting up a further conflict, kind of like the first season was. But like to take this long to do it bothers me a little bit because the first one was only like 4 episodes, I think. So like
right. Well, yeah, and probably the thing is it's good, but it's kind of just like an arc, where it's like, oh, you better come out with a new season a little pretty quick because this was just like a come and go kind of thing. This, you did have a lot of character development though. That's one thing I give this series, a lot of character development on, all the characters where we started to learn more about them and understand them more and understand their motivations. But it's,
Yeah.
I guess it's a little lackluster for a whole season.
Yeah.
It's more like
Yeah.
should have been like a arc in the season where they can move on to something else. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
kind of how I felt about it. But so we can wrap it up, man, and give it a rating.
All right.
It's to me, it's actually a good watch. It's a good watch. I had a lot of fun with it, but as I said before, it's it's the end. I ain't gonna say the end. It was unsatisfying. It's just a piece to something bigger, opposed to being a whole season where you can kind of watch it and get to an end and have some closure. So no, it's just like a piece of a puzzle where it's like, okay, where the rest? You know what I'm saying? So for that, I'm gonna give this a dope. Not it's not epic, but it's pretty dope. I liked it. I like the length, and I do like the fact it's only 28 minutes, not 40 minutes. So I can kind of, get into. I won't get burnt out on it, and I won't see more. So,
Right.
So I give it a dope. What'd you give it?
You know what? I definitely give this one a dope. It wasn't quite the way it ended wasn't quite neat enough to get it up to an epic for me, but like it did have really good pacing, and I really enjoyed sort of the character study element of this whole season. So I'm definitely gonna give it a dope. That and the action was still on point.
Right. Like I said before, it wasn't that much action compared to the first two seasons, but all the character development and the storyline kept me engaged. So I really wasn't worried about the action. But then when it was time to add the action, it was good. So, all right, that is our review for Castlevania Season 3. It's on Netflix right now. Go see it or watch it. It's worth it. It's good. If you need to start from Season 1, that's cool because you ain't got to watch a lot because it's only 4 episodes. So This is a series that you can start from the beginning and not get burnt out and get to Season 3 because it's short, in which they might have to do some other series like that on Netflix. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just not so long. Sometimes things be cool, but it just be a little too long.
Like you don't need 16 episodes on that first season.
Yeah, not on everything. Some things be cool, but not there.
Yeah.
So, all right, that is our review for Castlevania Season 3. It is a good show. Check it out. All right, so we are out of here. Thanks for checking out the channel. And please subscribe. Trying to get up to 1,000 subs. And a subscription will be much appreciated.
And don't forget to like this video. Let us know what works for y'all, what doesn't. So when you like a video, that lets us know we doing the right thing. Also, comment down below. What did y'all think of this this series if you've been watching it? And what do you think they did well, and what do you think they could have done better?
Well said. Well said. All right, we are out of here. Peace.
Peace.